Hello, are we recording on this? I think we'll be.
I remember when the streetcars used to run up Washington Street and go as far as Canal City. Who wants to do?
What was it like? What was it like?
What was it like?
What was Garnet like?
A very fine school.
What do you mean by a very fine school?
Because of its location and because of its ability to educate children.
Where was it located?
Huh?
Where?
Where? What?
Where was Garnet?
Huh?
Where was Garnet located?
Oh, at Jacob Street.
What is one of your strongest memories about the schools you attended?
I guess the ability of the teachers to instruct us and guide us in various things of life.
Did you say to guide us?
Yes, it is.
Did you have a favorite teacher?
Huh?
Did you have a favorite teacher?
No.
Did you ever get into trouble in school?
No, I did not.
Did you have a best friend?
Did I have a best friend?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was he or she like?
Huh?
What was he or she like?
What is he what?
What was he or she like?
By association and enjoyment with each other.
What was your favorite thing to do with your best friend?
Huh?
What was your favorite thing to do with your best friend?
I would say association with athletics and whatnot.
What chores did you have to do?
What?
What chores did you have to do?
What chores I had to do? I used to work at drugstore and jewelry store.
What did you do for fun?
Playground.
Where was the playground?
What was the playground? Was located on the Garnet School ground.
And did they have equipment?
Yes, some.
What was it?
What do you call it? Slides and whatnot.
Did you have any favorite toys or games?
Yes, baseball.
Did you play any sports?
yes. Baseball, partial football, partial basketball.
Was there a special place where kids could hang out?
Big one?
Was there a special place where kids could hang out?
I would say the schoolyard.
What was it like?
Very nice.
Tell me about the block, Dr. Clark.
All right, I'm going to tell you in a minute. Also, the M&S Pharmacy, Gym Pharmacy,
Were there places you were not allowed to go to?
any of these places I named?
Any place?
Any place. Oh, yeah. I'll say the hotels.
What hotels?
Hotels, Ferguson Hotel.
Why not?
Oh, because of the bar activities.
Did they sell liquor there?
I guess so. I don't know.
Did you ever go?
Yes.
What about Court Street, Donnelly Street, Fry's Alley?
That was a location of all of activity that I said was not becoming to children.
And you weren't allowed to go there?
No, I used to go down there. Yeah, I used to go down there. I used to go by there.
Were there places you were afraid to go?
Huh?
Were there any places you were afraid to go?
No.
What was the first job that you got for money?
That's cute. Let me see. Selling newspapers. I had newspaper route.
How much did you make?
Oh, let's say. For what? How?
Whenever you got paid.
Oh, whenever I got paid. Let's say about $20. We'll put that there.
Who was the first girlfriend?
Did you hear that? Did you hear it was my first girlfriend? I don't know. I don't remember.
Where did you go to church?
First Baptist Church.
What kind of activities did you do through your church?
For the church,
Yeah, what kind of activities?
associated with the Sunday school and also the BYPT. BTY.
Did you belong to any clubs?
Yes, the High Wire Club.
The High Wire?
Yeah, H-I-Y.
What was it like?
Very nice. It was a Christian club set up by the church.
What did you do after school?
After school, work.
What did you do in the summer for fun?
In the summertime, swimming, activities of not golf. No, because we didn't play golf then. Roller skating, things of that sort.
Where did the men in your neighborhood get together and tell stories, gossip, or talk politics?
Oh, the men of my church are associated with the church. They had a Bible class, and they exerted many features towards the activities of the church.
Where did the women in your neighborhood go together to tell stories and gossip and talk politics?
Church.
Did your neighborhood have special celebrations?
Huh?
Did your neighborhood have special celebrations?
Yeah, the lawn party.
How did they celebrate?
Playing British games.
Did you have a radio?
Did I have a radio then? I don't know. I don't remember.
Did you have a favorite kind of music?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your favorite song?
I don't know. I don't remember that now. That's cute.
Did people get together to make music?
To make music, yeah, so you should have choirs that sang together.
What kind of music did they sing?
Oh, they did this and
How old were you when you saw your first movie?
about 12 years old.
What was it?
Charleston.
What theater?
What was the name of that? Strand.
Describe the theater.
Describe the theater, small theater, very comfortable. We had to sit in the upstairs though. You want to put that in there?
Did you go downtown to eat?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Where was your favorite place?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Can't think of that.
How did you get around Charleston?
How did I what?
How did you get around Charleston? Bike,
Bike?
foot, car, trolley, bus?
Bike.
Okay. Who were the neighborhood characters?
Who were the neighborhood characters? That's quite a question. With Shorty. And Red.
What were they like?
Very active. I'll put that.
Do you remember anybody famous coming to Charleston?
Anybody famous coming to Charleston?
Yes.
What was the lady? Blind Kelly. Helen Kelly. Kelly was a blind lady. Marian Anderson. Roland Hayes.
Who did you say?
Roland Hayes. He was a tenor. He was a very good tenor.
Do you remember any major disasters? Fires, floods, or blizzards?
What?
Do you remember any major disasters? Fire, floods, or
Had
blizzards?
fire in the Capitol. The state Capitol burned. I saw it. It wasn't a hotel.
What was the funniest thing that happened when you were growing up in the East End?
Huh?
What was the funniest thing that happened when you were growing up in the East End?
When I joined the NAACP,
What was it?
I said, when I joined the NAACP, is that what you said?
What was the funniest thing that happened when you were growing up in the East End?
Oh, when I was growing up, funny thing happened was circus. Circus. And you might also put on that let's leave the circus.
What was the saddest thing that happened?
I have to go. Oh, closer. Let's read Moses, the depth of Moses' use.
The death of Moses who?
Yusuf and my grandmother, who was Susan Wade.
What made your neighborhood special?
Huh?
What made your neighborhood special?
Location.
What are some of the biggest changes you have seen happen in the East End?
The busiest times,
The biggest changes.
biggest what?
Changes.
Oh, with the influx of the removal of the interurban cars, and also the beginning of the state highway.
How did they affect you personally?
Some were saddened, some were we hated to see happen. The removal of them.
Did anyone try to do anything to block the change?
Hmm?
Did anyone try to do anything to block the change?
Yeah.
Did the neighborhood lose something as a result of the change?
Did the neighborhood lose what?
Anything in the result of the change?
No.
Did the neighborhood gain anything as a result of the change?
That I don't know. I can't remember that.
What do you think will happen to East End to the East End in the next 10 years?
There's going to be several changes. New businesses are going to take place.
That's it.
I was, I guess, around 12 years of age. I was going to Garnet School.
This is when the Capitol burned.
Yeah. And when I came home, my mother sent me to Summer Street Market to buy something for dinner. And I didn't get any further than Dickinson Street because the Capitol was on fire. And that's when it was burning. And we stayed all that night watching the Capitol burn. See, Washington Street didn't go no further than Capitol Street. Daniel Boone Hotel wasn't there. See, and the black people owned a fine building at the corner of Dickinson Street called the KFP building, the Knights of Pythias building. It was a 3-story building. On the first floor was located the gym pharmacy owned by a black man and his wife, Cherry. And on the back part of this first floor was a barber shop and a beauty parlor. On the second floor there were located offices Architect was there, Mr. John C. Norman, who was the architect there. And the third floor was the ballroom floor. A man by the name of DeHoney, William DeHoney, used to conduct all of the dances there up on the third floor. That was really the location for all of the fine balls that went on in Charleston at that particular time.
What about that fire? Were there a lot of people standing around the street?
Very much so. The fire lasted, I guess, all night. Because I know it was all night. Because we stayed there night. There was a little theater across the street from there called the Alhambra. And we were all in that lobby watching the fire. And naturally that pharmacy was there, Mr. Terry's. They had a very fine pharmacy with a fine located bar for sold ice cream and whatnot. Then around Capitol Street there was the Capitol expanded all the way over to Lee Street there. And the yard extended all back to Dickinson Street. And it had benches and things that people sit on. Of course, naturally, when the fire came, everybody scattered, different areas, watching the fire, and listening to when the fire reached the upper stage of the Capitol, we could hear the shots go off. There must have been evidently bullets and things in the upper part of the Capitol where it was located there. And we could hear that. It was something just to listen, to see. And it was quite a sight,
Was there a lot of smoke?
Yeah, very much so.
Were you afraid?
No, I wasn't afraid. It didn't bother me. Garnet was very active. Garnet developed quite a sporting activity. We had great football teams. We had great basketball teams. Garnet was fortunate enough to be given a very fine gymnasium. And most of the schools of the state wanted to come to play Garnet because of the fine gymnasium that we had. But of course, they didn't know also that we had an exceptionally good team, see. And one of the outstanding teams that we brought here was from Wheeling. A man by the name of Rainbow was the coach up at Wheeling. They had quite a team. And of course, we were fortunate enough to take charge of them when they came here. And football, we were fortunate enough to play one of the outstanding teams of the country, Armstrong High School of Washington, D.C. And we had quite a classic game with them one year here at Garnet. Our team was fortunate enough to go to the basketball tournament at West Virginia State College, and we won. That was the first tournament that Garnet ever won. We beat your team.
Which was?
Dallas. And we were fortunate enough to win that tournament. That was the first tournament that Garnet ever won. See, I can say Garnet was quite an institution over here. I was going to tell somebody, Garnet almost had a college. See, Garnet was right out here, over to Lewis Street. And in the middle was the offices and the main part of the team. But the school had a very fine auditorium, and we used to give some very fine plays. And behind that building was the manual training building, where we taught manual training and arts. And then we had this gym that was developed. It was quite a gym. I don't think any school ever had as fine a gym as we had at the time. And we became very active in athletics, track, and also rest of the athletics like football and basketball and baseball. On Shrewsbury Street, sent that band to Atlantic City, and not only did he send the band, he sent 2 people to rent a house to cook food for this band. We went to down into Virginia, and the Cures, but we had to sit in the upstairs.
Where did you buy your tickets?
At the window.
And then you went up.
Yeah, upstairs.
Who sat downstairs?
The other people.
Who were?
Who were the white people. There too, in that hotel,
What was the name of the hotel?
Ferguson Hotel.
And who built it?
Captain G.E. Ferguson and his, I guess, family, I don't know.
And what was in the hotel? Now, it had sleeping rooms, I guess.
Yes, and also a theater downstairs, plus a restaurant. There was a theater right under the building. It had a dance hall down at the bottom of the floor, and that was really the crux of it. It was a very fine hotel, but like most everything happens, these guys that were racketeers, so to speak, took over the hotel at one time, and along beside that building was there used to be a very tall tree, and it was cut down, and Mr. H. Brown brought that section over, and he put in a lot of small businesses like hot dog stands and tailor-made places for, ran a tailor shop, and all the way around what we call Shrewsbury Street. That was where all the things was located. In fact, that was the location of the black people, mostly.
Mr. Brown also, I think, had a hotel.
Who?
Mr. Brown. Did he not have a hotel?
Now, that hotel was out on Capitol Street. That was Mrs. Foreman, I think, and her sister who ran that hotel. It was at the corner of Capitol and Donnelly Street, I think. And it was there for some time. They had quite a nice little hotel in there. See.
One of the pictures that we had was of a lodge activity on Shrewsbury Street. Do you remember anything about lodges as they operated here?
The Elks Lodge had a house there, and they ran. I won't say it was I guess it was a house. I don't know. I didn't go in. They had bar and things of that sort in there.
Did you have any fights when you were growing up?
Quite a bit. We used to come up here at Ruffin Avenue to fight the white boys every day, every Saturday. We used to fight. We used to fight too.
What did you fight about?
The black situation.
And what was that? What was the black situation?
Oh, they want to run us away, you know. We didn't have that. We didn't stand that. We used to come up there and fight up there every Saturday. And then we had Garnet didn't have any place to practice over in a little field over across from the Coca-Cola plant. And we would come up there on Saturday mornings and have our rendezvous. Somebody bring an egg, somebody bring a potato. It was quite interesting to know. And we had a boy that could really hit that ball. And across Ruffin Avenue, there was a house over there that had one of these very fine windows in it. And he used to delight in knocking that ball right in that window. He used to break that window all the time. He could hit that ball. Boy, we called him Giant Killer, I think. He was quite a guy. Yeah, quite a guy. I've had quite an experience here. See, was my aunt's home. And she had another house just like this right next door. And, well, it's been quite an ordeal, though. See, my mother and my father decided they wanted, my uncle was a dentist. And he, I don't know, it was a long family story. And, of course, I came out of the service, and my mother and my father. My mother was a truant officer, and my father was just an ordinary man, you know. So they had a little place over on 40th Street. I always remember it, a loan place that they had borrowed some money from. And they was making an attempt to put pressure on them. So I don't know, I went to work, went over and found out about it. Then I took work at the hotel. Have to pay that note off. And the bank, Black Bank in Charleston, was at the corner of the Knights of Pythias building. They had one of the finest loan things in this country. I did have a copy of it. I don't know what happened. Of course, my office got messed up when the water came in. And the water tore me all pieces. That's the reason I'm not. So I've retired now. I had to retire. Of course, I had my wife, and that took good in shape.
Now, this Black Bank was in the Knights of Pythias building.
Yeah.
And what was the name of it? Do you remember?
Mutual Savings and Loan.
The Pythian Mutual Savings.
No, it was a Pilsen building, but the bank was named the Mutual Savings and Loan. They moved from there up on Broad Street. They moved from there up on Broad Street. And in that house there was Dr. Harvey. Who else? I think my uncle moved up there. See, where I lived at 909 Washington Street, we moved the house back. At least my uncle and my mother did. And we built a building there called the Susan and Anthony Building. And on the lower floor was a drugstore of a lady by the name of Ruth Lowe, who moved here from Huntington, put a drugstore there. And then a man by the name of Hill put a sandwich shop there. One of the first fine sandwich shop. Then on the second floor there was my uncle's office, a dentist, Dr. W.D. Morris, a physician, and Dr. Jones, R.L. Jones, not R.L. Jones, but J.R. Jones, a physician, and a lawyer. What was his name? I can't think of it right now. But he had a lawyer office up there. And let's see who else. All across the street from that There was Mr. Roy Edwards, a tailor, who ran a tailoring shop there. All of this is black. All of this is black institutional people that owned it.
What happened to those businesses?
That's $1 million question. I think the thing that I hated most to see was them let that Knights of Pythias building go. It later became into the hands of, shall I say, not say racketeers, but numbers people. And I think they kept it for a while, and then they let it all go. That was right. That was at the corner of Washington and Dickinson Street, where the white church is now, just across the street from there. See, and there used to be some tailoring services there in that building. And that little theater was there, the Alhambra Theater. I had quite a tale on the Ferguson bit. I'm not going to tell you that.